The rain fell lightly that morning, tapping against the polished black shoes of soldiers lined up in perfect formation. The funeral of a great general was about to begin, and the cemetery was crowded with high-ranking officials, decorated veterans, and government representatives. It was the kind of event where everything was strict, orderly, and precise. But in the distance, at the very edge of the cemetery gates, stood a man who didn't fit the scene. He wasn't in a crisp uniform anymore. His jacket was worn, his shoes scuffed, and beside him was a little boy clutching his hand, eyes wide with innocence. The man was a single dad, a veteran who had once given everything to the same flag now draped over the coffin. When he approached the guarded entrance, his head held low but heart heavy, the military police stopped him immediately. "This is a private funeral," one guard said sharply. "Only those invited may enter." The veteran nodded, fumbling in his pocket, pulling out an old photograph, a faded picture of him standing shoulder to shoulder with the general decades ago in a dusty war zone, both younger, both smiling. "I served with him," the man said quietly. "He saved my life once. I just want to pay my respects." But the guards shook their heads. To them, he looked like just another outsider, someone who didn't belong among the medals and stars. His boy tugged at his sleeve, whispering, "Daddy, why won't they let us in?" The father swallowed hard, pain etched across his face. He had fought for his country, sacrificed his youth, and now, even here, he felt invisible. The guard's tone grew firmer, insisting he step aside, and murmurs from the crowd nearby stung him even deeper. As he turned to leave, shame and heartbreak weighing him down, something unexpected happened. The cemetery grew silent, and from across the rows of uniforms, a commanding voice thundered, "Stop." The voice belonged to a four-star general, his presence unmistakable, his medals gleaming even in the gray morning light. He had noticed the exchange at the gate, and with slow, deliberate steps, he walked toward the single dad and his son. Everyone stood straighter as he approached, the air felt heavy with authority. When the general reached the man, he studied him for a long moment. Then, with surprising gentleness, he said, "I know you." He pointed to the photograph trembling in the veteran's hand. "That's you, isn't it? In Kandahar. You were with him when—" His voice broke slightly, and for a moment, the four-star general wasn't a towering figure of power but just a fellow soldier remembering old battles. He turned to the guards, his tone sharp now. "How dare you refuse him entry? This man fought with the general you're here to honor. He bled with him. He belongs here as much as any of us." Gasps rippled through the crowd. The guards' faces burned with shame as they stepped aside, allowing the veteran and his boy to pass. The general didn't just let them in. He placed his arm firmly around the veteran's shoulders and personally escorted him to the front row, right beside the grieving family. For the first time that day, the single dad didn't feel invisible. His little boy's eyes shone with pride, whispering, "Daddy, they know you're a hero." As the funeral began, the veteran's mind flooded with memories, long nights under foreign skies, laughter in the middle of chaos, and the moment the fallen general had pulled him from certain death. He wept quietly, not just for the man they had lost, but for all the years he had carried his burdens in silence. Yet sitting there, honored and acknowledged, he felt something he hadn't in years: dignity. When the ceremony ended, the four-star general placed a firm hand on the boy's shoulder and said, "Your father is a man of courage. Never forget that." The boy nodded, clutching his father's hand tighter than ever. In that moment, the veteran realized the funeral wasn't just about loss. It was about remembrance, respect, and the bonds of brotherhood that never truly die.